at 6:37, December 19th, so it's recorded. Todd, would you please do roll call?
Yes, happy to do that. Ernest,
Yep.
Wolfgang,
Here.
Mary,
Here.
Stefan is not here. Dawn, we know, is not going to be with us this evening. Suzanne,
Here.
Jason,
Here.
Heather,
Here.
Elizabeth.
Here.
All right, and we have forum.
Awesome. Can we all please recite the mission together? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Act as a strong advocate to justice and equal opportunity by providing citywide leadership and guidance in the area of civil rights.
For members of the public participating virtually, if you experience technical difficulties, you may call 434-970-3115, and a staff person will assist you. That is 434-970-3115. Do we have anybody? We have no one in person, so we are going to move on to minutes. Do you have any minutes? You have minutes? Cool, all right. Because so we did not have a December.
Yeah, you're ahead of the game.
All right. We don't have anything from the fifth, from November? Minutes? Do we need to approve?
Do we have November? Do we not do November? Let me think about that. Maybe we
I
did.
did November minutes.
You did
I
November. You
sent
shared
them
them.
out. I think they're not on the agenda.
I don't think they were in the
They're on the
Yeah.
agenda pack. We just forgot to put them in the agenda pack. So we're not ahead of the game, but we're on the game. We'll just
Look at them in January.
look at them in January.
Yeah. It's
It's
fine.
okay. We know what we need to do.
All right. Man, rolling right on. Business matters of, business matters, chair update. I don't have anything right now. I know per the work plan, I was supposed to be getting in contact with someone to talk about reparations. And that's something I have not, it's been a busy November and December, busier than I thought it was going to be. So I have not reached out to that. So in my time off from school, the next 2.5 weeks, if anybody's in, I will try to reach out to individuals to see what the pleasure is of people in this area about reparations. All right, office staff or Office of Human Rights.
That'll be it.
That would be.
You wanna talk first?
Sure.
Cool.
I don't have much. I am tabling the Community Festival of Hope on Sunday from 12 to 5. That's not in your packet because I didn't confirm it until after the packet was posted.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
The Community Festival of Hope at the
It is?
Art Park, 12 to 5 on Sunday. If anybody is available, you can stop by. And, oh, exciting news, the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act brochure that I've been working on is now translated. So I'm compiling the 6 languages for that, and then we'll be able to get them printed and start distributing them. And I think that's all I have for now.
What's the time of the event again on Sunday?
12 to 5 p.m.
12. Thank you.
on Sunday. Did you say Sunday?
Sunday.
Sorry, I thought you said Saturday.
If I did, I'm
It's
sorry.
on Sunday.
It's on Sunday. Gotcha. Gotcha.
You're still welcome there on Saturday. if you'd like.
Big Spark,
You're
Big
welcome.
Spark is open then.
You get the farmer's market.
Exactly.
Oh,
Farmer's market would be closed by 12, right?
Yeah, it would be. It's Sunday.
The farmer's market's on Sundays?
No, the event
Yeah,
is
the
on
event.
Sunday.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about Saturday versus
that-
Sunday.
Okay, I'm-
They were giving me a hard time. It's okay.
I started a tangent. I'm sorry
Wow,
about
this
that.
looks like a great program.
Yes, the event is on Sunday.
Alright, cool. Is this gonna be a big event? This is gonna be, Heather, this is like it's gonna be,
It says that the Moonlight Circus will perform.
Oh.
And that if you are a couple that would like to be legally married before January, you could take advantage of the interfaith clergy member who will be present all day. I'm just reading this off of the internet.
I was asked to
Oh,
give an
and I believe
inspirational
that
speech.
Mary Bauer will be
Will you be
there.
there?
And also Mary-
Yeah.
Oh, you speak.
Mary will be there.
It says word from the
What
VA.
time?
We were hiding that
She's the
part.
executive director of ACLU.
30 or 3, I don't know, it's
Oh, good.
Sometimes.
It's not really worth the trip over there for that, but
Why not?
Oh, no.
So
Well, you can take advantage.
But I
of
will
the fact
see
that
you,
can
'cause
come
I will be
table
there.
with me.
Should we all be there? Like, I'm gonna be there too. Let's go. Let's
there's
all
they
table.
have the part of the
Don't
rally
talk
that,
There's a cocktail hour.
there's something
Oh.
called We Won't Go Back.
Oh,
That's like
yeah.
part of the event.
I have
Cool.
nothing else to do, so I might as well go.
Yeah.
This is
do it.
kind of the methodology.
All right,
I could be there on one.
all right, just make sure you wait. Hey, how you doing?
That's right. Is it overwhelming?
Let's
It's
see.
7 people table altogether.
Yeah, exactly.
We need a round table.
Opposite aisle.
In a round table.
Oh, cool, awesome. Glad to hear that Mary's having some participation in that. That's awesome, good. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Anything else, office?
Lauren, do you have anything? Just give you an option.
Oh, I appreciate that. Uh. Influx,
please.
no, it's okay, no, I was trying to figure out how I would formulate my sentence. Just a couple of more intakes have come in, and so it's very exciting to talk to the community folks and see where we can help. Merrick. So just a little bit more folks since the last time I was here, so exciting.
Yeah, yeah, everybody's working hard, but Lauren's working really hard right now. I think it's kind of, I don't know what it is, maybe very effective outreach has led to
Yes.
many more intakes. But I think we're approaching like the most complaints we've ever had
Really?
in a year. Yeah, cause I think some of them are moving, we had a couple that are just choosing to bypass dispute resolution right off the bat, so that means we're gonna be into the 13, 14
Mhm.
number of complaints
Well,
Yes.
this year, which is a lot. That means that means Shiloh is also working hard because she has 2 open investigations right now. And that would mean 2 to 3 more coming, so that's a lot, so kind of, for me, it's like, how is everyone doing? How are our plates, how full are plates, so we're watching all
My
that.
plate is full of Pearl Island.
There you go. Other updates, wow, hey, look, we got another one of these ordinances to look at again.
Woohoo!
Thank you for working with us. It was really, I have to say that it's been really nice working with us this time. We got very clear feedback on what they needed. They actually gave us a whole chart and said, fix this, and then we said, we fix this, and then they had another column and they said, that's good, that's good, that's good. So
that's so
that makes me
clear.
think that we may have made it this time.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that they have given us kind of an accelerated timetable to get this done before the new administration comes in, because it's hard to say what will change at HUD.
Yeah.
So we're thrilled that we both got that, and that if you all adopt tonight, no pressure, but if you do adopt to recommend to council tonight, that means we're on the agenda for January 6th, and then again for the 21st, if they want to do a second reading, that gets us done. And we can get that off to HUD, so
great.
anyway, that's exciting. No, other things?
I'm just gonna throw out one minor update.
Yeah.
Well, more of a somber note. Unfortunately, Albemarle County lost a school board member yesterday. He was a Charlottesville native, he served in the military, gave pretty much his entire adult career to ACPS. So just wanted to acknowledge his passing, Chuck Pace.
What's his last name?
Pace.
Name, goodness.
Is your presence on them?
He was the Rio District member.
No.
Yeah, I read it was just very sudden, but
It was, yeah.
yeah, so I guess I don't say it.
Okay. Mr. Pace's family in our prayers and thoughts. Anything else from the office?
I don't think so.
It's encouraging to hear everything that's going on with housing and low-income housing and low barrier housing going on within the city. With Salvation Army and city helping get money. I hope that the Fifeville community will allow the city to build in that space that's on, what's that, right there by Tustin? Cherry Avenue.
Jerry, yep,
Let them, build there. We need the housing
desperately.
very badly, so. I don't know where else we can build in Charlottesville. There's so a lot. And so, all right, anything else, nothing else from the office? We're moving on. Nominating committee, so, I have a letter I have constructed to send to all of you that are returning. I did not send out the letter because I also wanted to try to talk to people personally to get an idea. Because I didn't, and so that is still my goal, is to talk to everyone over either email or phone to find out what you're planning on doing for the next year. I'm hoping everybody will come back. That still has time, or their term is not done. And also to talk to anyone that may have a desire to be chair and vice chair about their responsibilities. Looking at the rules and policies, it doesn't say we have to have this done by a certain time. It just says we have to do it. Okay, so my goal is that is to reach out to everyone to find out who has a desire to be chair. It's really awesome because Lily and Todd do such a great job of keeping us on track, and the work plan helps out so much. We know where we are, what we need to be doing, and what needs to happen next and when and that type of thing. So it's really good for someone who wants to put their own spin on pushing things. I think anybody that's going to be in this position next is going to be very interesting, especially with the new administration in the White House, but also to see how the city will handle the changes that are going to be coming down federally. It may not be a big impact this first year, but as things start to happen, I think the next 2 or 3 years is going to be very pivotal, especially with all the unknowns. So again, I will reach out to you guys, myself, Catherine, will reach out to you per email to say, hey, what is your desire? Do you have desire to be chair or vice chair? Do you have any questions about the position? And then when we meet in January, hope we'll have a slate, and then we'll run that, and that person will take over then. Is everybody okay with that?
Sounds good.
Good with that? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so when I send an email, please return my email. So we can have this ready to roll. So when y'all get back, we have an idea of who would like to be chair, vice chair. Oh, and it says something about a secretary in the rules and procedures. You guys are
That's the office, yeah, it's director and then, yeah.
okay.
We used to have a parliamentarian as well.
We did sign the
did.
bylaws. though.
We did,
It's
you
not in the
said, well,
bylaws.
is it in bylaws? That we have, no, it's not.
You love rules and regulations.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Do we need that?
We had a
I'm
member who loved rules and
I
regulations.
feel like that's kind of up my alley, but I'm not that pedantic.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I feel like that's a no.
I've had to have some like Robert's rules based like wars with people, so maybe, you know, this.
Okay.
It's gotten
That
pretty
was like
spicy,
my
so.
brother.
Alright. Robert's rules stuff, but I'm your girl.
Okay, going back to Roberts, leaving Martha alone.
Yeah, I'm not too knowledgeable about Martha's rules, they seem a little more relaxed.
Yes, yeah, yes, so.
And we had like a training on Robert's rules recently by somebody who's like an expert in it, and they're like, yeah, it's just a guideline, really, do what you want, as long as you get the work done, so that kind of made me go, oh, well, we're doing that, so
Right.
it's fine, it's just there for if you need something to fall back on, cause you can't get through a
Mhm.
procedure or something, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically this whole structure that, you know, gives voice to minority opinions.
Yeah.
But then allows the majority to carry the day.
Yeah.
And so it's like a nice place where if there's disagreement, everyone can be heard,
Mhm.
but then the majority gets to go forward.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. All right, so thank you guys for your grace that this isn't done right now. So, thank you.
Thank you. Of course.
Thank you, Ernest, too.
Everyone else is saying it, so.
Mhm.
Said everyone else is saying it,
Oh,
so.
thank you. So, work session. Proposed amendments to Charlottesville Human Rights Ordinance.
Again,
Again.
we should put again on there.
2.0.
So, are you ready? Okay,
I
so
hope so.
this is in your agenda packet, doesn't have the rainbow of colors on it, because that's hard for ADA accessibility when you have the colors, but I have my copy with colors because it's easier for me to see. What we're looking at here, and I've got it on my screen. So why are we doing this again? Okay,
Yeah.
so several times now we have submitted the ordinance to HUD for approval for the entrance into the Fair Housing Assistance Program Workshare. We keep getting closer, but it's an interesting process because I think there's interpretation that happens as to what is substantially equivalent to federal law. And you know, I think with different people coming in, they catch different things in our ordinance, and so they catch new things, tell us to make changes. This time has been very clear, as I mentioned, and I think we caught everything. So we also just kept going through, because every time we open the ordinance, it's like, might as well look for any typos that we missed the last time, any weird formatting that we need to fix. So we caught some good things. But the main things are in all of our enforcement sections. So that's 2-4371-3. We made changes that mirror one another, but primarily take their guidance from federal fair housing law. So if that's the most strict standard, we base everything else off that standard, right? Because that has to work. And we don't want to have like 3 different procedures for all the different protected, different groupings of protected classes. We group public accommodation, credit, private education in one section, housing's in its own, and then employment's in its own. And we separate employment and housing obviously because it has some additional rules. Employment, because if we go into the FEPA, which is the Fair Employment Practices Agency Agreement, and they ask us to make any ordinance changes, we want to be able to separate that out and not have it affect other protected activities. So anyway, one of the big things that they wanted us to do was remove language that seemed burdensome to complainants to make it easier to file. We had put some language in there that we learned from the EEOC through training, because that's the training that we kind of have access to in terms of investigative and intake procedures. They're a little bit different than how HUD runs, and I think what HUD is trying to do, and I applaud them for this, is to say, let's make it as easy as possible for people to get in the door. So we had added some procedures that they thought that's a little restrictive, remove those.
Mhm.
We did that, and we did it in all the other sections as well. And for your section, which is 439.1, they wanted to make sure that there were a few things in your public administrative hearing procedures that met their criteria as well. So there's changes in there. And then last, they wanted to make sure that there was very clear statement that our process doesn't limit access to judicial review either of any opinion that comes out of here or their ability to just go straight to court with any of their housing issues. So that's all in there. I'll scroll through slides. Again, the first one is the employment section, removing the undue burden stuff. Made some changes around text organization, also modified our subpoena clause. And we did this in all of them. We'll talk about what that means, but matched the subpoena clauses in all sections where there's subpoena power, because they're really adamant about making sure we have subpoena power. So, and we've had it, but it's more robust now. We can actually go directly rather than soliciting subpoenas from city attorney's office first.
Oh, okay.
So we can go to the housing one. So again, removed anything that placed an undue burden. So there's very little review of the inquiry just for jurisdiction now. We don't have any other real requirements. If it's jurisdictional and it's covered under the ordinance, it's timely, all those things, we can accept the complaint. So we refined the procedure to state that clearly. We also modified the agency initiated complaint piece. So that's where you all can either vote to say, hey, open a complaint on this systemic issue, even when there's no complainant.
Great.
And to mirror federal law, it's an interesting process because I think we backpedaled it a bit to, it's not a requirement of substantial equivalence to have agency initiated complaints, but it is in federal law and state law. Like state law talks about the Fair Housing Board's ability to initiate complaints. Federal law talks about the secretary, which is like the secretary of HUD, their ability to initiate complaints. So I just changed it to director. So I could also initiate a complaint, and I just put that in the same clause in that section. So we can do that. Who knows when we will, but we might. So now we have it. And they said it was our prerogative and it wouldn't affect our substantial equivalence.
Feels timely to have it in there.
Yep. And I won't go through all of these, but if you read it, you'll see there's some additional timeframes and procedures that we added in there, little just blips here and there in that section to meet substantial equivalence to federal fair housing law, minor revisions to text organizations. The subpoena piece was interesting. I mentioned that previously it said in there we would request that the city attorney ask for a subpoena from the court. They said, no, you do it. You guys have the power to do that. So that's both the commission and the office. So commission, when it's doing a public hearing on thing and you want some more evidence, you're like, I want to know a little bit more. It doesn't seem like you got this piece. You can subpoena the court. We'll talk about how to do that. We'll work with the city attorney on it because I've never done that and I want to know how to do it properly. But likewise, in an investigation, the office can do it as well, directly.
These are binding subpoenas, like they have
Yeah.
to comply with them.
Oh, yeah, and so there's a piece in there about compliance, there's sort of an addition in there about what is the extent of our ability to request subpoenas. Yeah, so it's robust and it's throughout the ordinance now, which is great because one of the biggest limiters is if you have a witness who is unwilling to speak to us about a case and you don't have anything but the complainant and respondent's point of view and you need something to triangulate that. So important to have that third point of view. And we also had to be really clear about what components of our investigative and complaint process are handled internally versus externally. It's really very little that we can contract out for housing. We still left a much more open ability to contract services for our other protected activities, but for housing specifically, the only things we can really contract out are informal dialogue and mediation, our conciliation efforts, which is another alternative dispute resolution method that we have, the difference between that and mediation is that the city is also a third party in the settlement agreement. We have to do that in-house. So in anticipation of that, we're actually getting certified as mediators. 3 of us in the office are getting certified as mediators. So Lauren and Lily are further ahead than I am. I have to catch up. But we're doing it. And we're already using those techniques for informal dialogue. Soon we'll be able to do it for a mediation as well as the conciliation stuff. And we're gonna get more training on that through HUD once we get into the Fair Housing Assistance Program. So big changes, but pretty neat changes, powerful changes, right? And so this is the last section. I won't go deep into it, but basically the same stuff that we revised in the employment section, we did for public accommodation, credit, and private education. And so those 2 sections pretty much match one another. And they match the housing procedures, but the housing procedures have a little bit more stuff in them because they have to. Here we get to the last 2 bits, the section that applies to you all, which is the public hearing piece and your role in individual complaints. Because the language in federal laws about administrative hearings, we use public hearing, so I switched public to administrative. Just to be clear, there's a clause in there that says all administrative hearings are public hearings, but anyway, that's in there. And what they also wanted to make clear was, so this is important for you all. If there's a finding of reasonable cause and neither party elects to take it to court, it automatically goes to a public hearing. You don't get the vote like you do in the other stuff. But recall that your procedures for this are now a review of record. So that doesn't mean, that means we're gonna have to hold court here. No, just reviewing the record. Again, you can use your subpoena power, which is also the 3rd bullet there. If you find that you don't have enough information or we missed something in our investigation that you need to make a decision. But yeah, it automatically goes if they don't choose to go to court. If either party says, nope, want to settle in court, goes to court. Or if we settle it through alternative dispute resolution and conciliation agreement, you don't have a hearing either.
That's really useful because I think that one thing that was just a difficult decision point was for us this past opportunity to maybe go to a public hearing was not knowing really what both parties wanted.
Yeah.
Right, knowing that it was our decision, not theirs. And so this, if it gets to that point, it's automatic.
Yeah.
So that's,
It's automatic.
yeah, and then they would know that in advance. They would be deciding to go to a public hearing as opposed to putting it in our hands.
And I think
That's good.
that's good to hear. I mean, I think that is another thing to consider. We won't do it this round of amendments, but you could consider it for the other protected activities as well, if that
Yeah.
felt like something that made it less of a burden to decide. And it's just like, no, this is the process. If you don't settle in, alternative dispute resolution, doesn't go to court in the other protected activities, they don't have the option to elect, but if it doesn't get resolved, it just comes to you. That could be a thing. But
If it does come to us, then, I mean, I don't think I would want to give up our ability to decide not to have one if or to have one,
Yeah.
you know?
it's a good
It
point.
seems like, it seems like we wanna make sure that we, don't get backed into a situation where we must have a public hearing if we're not actually, if it isn't the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and you could maybe think about, we talked a little bit about different situations in which like that could be, well, if people were to show up for it, right, in person, that could be the traumatic piece. In this case, a review of record, there's a little bit less of that to happen, but it's something to consider, not for this time, but just kind of reflecting on your comment there, so, cool, yeah. Last bit there is what I mentioned earlier on, is that in 2-443, we just had to be clear that nothing that we did prevents anybody from going to court about this stuff in housing cases at least. And from exercising any other allowable rights under federal and state law, so there it is. We use one of our reserved sections. It's always fun when we do that because we have, why are those there? Wow, because sometimes we have new things and that wasn't a new thing. Last slides we have here are what are we doing next? So January 6th, we go to council. Oh, I missed the comma. I misplaced the comma. Look at that.
January, pause.
We gotta fix that before we go to council. I don't think that, no, these slides aren't in the council presentation anymore. That's good. We had to reduce
This
it.
could kill it, Todd.
This could
this
kill it. They'll be
trauma
like, you
could
know
kill
what?
it.
We need a
If
second
you can't
reading.
get your PowerPoint right, how do I know you got this right?
Right, exactly.
Fail. Anyway, so get it to council on the sixth, hopefully get it to a second reading on the 21st. I don't know that they would pass it in one reading, but there's always a chance. That would be kind of nice
Can you
too.
put that on the slide, just to like set that expectation?
We could, yeah. I don't know, that's really a legal thing. I don't know what dictates. I think it's like this, the
Do they have
the
to?
amount of new stuff they usually do with ordinances. I think they would, yeah.
Almost everything they do.
Is there any,
Second
well,
readings
actually, I
for
don't know if
street
you're finished
names,
explaining.
second
Yeah,
readings for
or- yeah.
Is there
holidays
any
and-
reason that any of us should show up with you when you go to present this? Like, is it helpful to be supportive, or is it like,
No.
We did it last
this is
time.
probably?
Would you-
Yeah,
We did it last
fun
time,
for
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Will this be the 4 o'clock
I'll stand
or
up with
the
you.
6?
Is there a-
Signs, we
Please
support this.
Please stand.
Is there any sort of
Would this
like?
be
We
the
can
4
carry you
o'clock?
down the aisle, hoisted above our heads.
This will be later. I'm in the action items. So 4 o'clock session is like work session stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's like when we do our reports, like
Okay.
when you and I have done reports. For
Okay.
This will be action items. I think there's only 2 on there right now. I think we're number 2, so. Let's see, yeah, anyway, so once they sign it, once, you know, they adopt, clerk signs, we submit it to HUD and then off we go. Hopefully they don't go, you know what, second thought, change this, this and this. I don't think that's gonna happen this time, but it has before. So anyway, that's where we're at. This little last bit here. Is there one more slide? There's one more slide. That was just a little review of like what we might expect to come in from, we may get up to 3 or 4 cases more. Did we ever, we never got that data from? Well, we can always ask again, but if the past trends are accurate, we could expect 3 or 4 more cases per year to come our way. So, you know, right now we're fully staffed. We get access to all the training through the National Fair Housing Training Academy. But what we may need to think about with this is, what do we use that additional capacity building funding for? Like, we're fully staffed now, but if our caseloads increase, you know, can Shiloh handle like, you know, 6 cases at a time, 7 cases at a time? At what point do we need to consider hiring either part-time or full-time investigator? So we'll have to see. All that's kind of pending. So it was a substantial amount a few years ago when we knew what the amounts were. We'll probably get in a new crash course in what it means to be a FAP, but it was like $300,000 in access to funds for capacity building. So I think that still has to go, based on the budget office, that still gets appropriated by council to us. It's not, they don't just like hand it to us, big wad of cash, nothing like that. But I think it's fairly accessible and we get to be able to do some cool stuff. So remains to be seen how we end up growing the office. We've been talking a lot internally about what that might mean. But we want to see what HUD also advises in terms of our growth, so.
Well, my thing is just make sure you keep in contact with Shiloh and make sure she's in a good space and is handling what needs to be handled.
Yeah,
And don't wait until it's, I would say to her, I think she's on. I think she's
I'm
on.
here. I can hear you.
you
Thanks for
are,
here.
Michelle.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to let Lily and Todd know when you are getting a little overwhelmed or need some extra. I understand especially how we tend to overextend. And by the time we yell, it's too late. That we need some extra help or that type of thing. So please keep an eye on numbers and time. And continue to have a good balance of your work and your home life and that type of thing, because that's gonna be very important coming up in the next couple of years with things going on. Just, you know, take care of self. But I know you will do a great job of taking care of the people that are coming to you and that having investigations and things pending.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Todd, I do have a question on these slides.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned with the next steps.
Yeah, tell me
that you
about
have.
that.
If you thought about changing one of those next steps to something else?
What did I misspell?
No, you didn't misspell it. You just got next steps.
Oh, there's two
Yeah.
slides that are called next
Yeah.
steps.
Oh, yeah,
So.
I don't
So
know.
there's phase one and phase two.
Yeah, I guess we can change that.
In conclusion.
Immediate phase.
Yeah,
next
those,
step.
those two slides are not gonna be on the thing. We
Oh,
actually
okay.
removed those, but we had,
Okay, then I won't worry about it.
That's good
Okay.
feedback.
Yeah.
when we were with you guys, we're really sloppy. No, I'm just kidding. I just, yeah, I noticed that the other day. I was like, oh, I think it's just like, it's next steps, one slide, and this is the rest of the next steps. But anyway,
January comma.
next steps continued.
Okay, part two.
More steps.
More steps.
More steps. Watch your step.
Add more calendar. Okay,
Any other questions?
No. This is great. I mean, I can only imagine how many times you all have had to look at this document and so,
tease it.
and like, yeah, at some point you're just, yeah, so I think it looks great.
Cool, I think it's in good shape. Yeah, it's been helpful. The more we think about this document, I remember when I first started, it was like, I knew, it wasn't nearly this thick, but I knew like the first half of it, and then the second half was like, and then some stuff happens. Having spent so much time with it, it's like, okay, now I can see the whole process. So it's been kind of a, forced study of it, and I think that's helpful.
You're now the subject matter expert on it, right?
Yeah, multiple of us are now, because we look at it so much, and I also want to celebrate the fact that, Shael, I don't know if did we mention this in the last one? She has successfully now been moved from investigator in training to investigator.
Oh.
So that was a whole thing. Yeah, that's a big deal. So yay, Shael. And I also think that when we talk about, yeah. I also just want to watch the whole team because, more things coming in matters to investigation, matters to intake as well, matters to alternative dispute resolution.
Right.
There may be new requirements for outreach. There's going to be new requirements for reporting. There's a whole new database we have to manage.
Yeah.
Did I mention that to the staff? It's coming. They manage it. We just have to put stuff in it. But there's lots of things. So what's nice about this is it's an interim certification. It's a gradual workup. So I think they try to take it easy on us at first to make sure we can do it and give us some feedback. So that's all I got. Any other questions?
Oh, awesome job, yeah. Office staff and team, good job. All right.
Is this the fun
Next,
part?
this the fun part?
Yeah, is this the voting part?
No.
Did we vote on that?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so you vote, you would make a motion to
we-
adopt
we vote-
amendments
we-
to recommend to city council. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just make that motion.
All right.
Seconded.
I have a question.
Yeah.
No, I don't wanna hold this up any longer.
That's fine.
Yeah. So you got a,
You ready for a vote then?
yeah,
Okay,
to do the do.
let's do it. Okay, Ernest.
I say yes enthusiastically because it's awesome.
Wolfgang.
Yes, assuming you remove that comma.
It's not in the ordinance.
That's not in the.
Yes.
I hate to say it, there's probably a stray punctuation mark in the ordinance somewhere.
Don't say
I know.
We'll catch you the
Fine.
next time.
Fine.
Yes, full stop.
Yeah.
Mary.
I read it pretty closely, yes,
Okay,
Oh.
thanks. Did you see anything weird?
I did not.
Okay.
It's our legal voice here, so.
Catherine's not here, Dawn's not here.
Mm-mm.
Suzanne.
Yes.
Okay, Jason.
Yes.
Great. Heather
Yes.
and Elizabeth.
Yes.
Okay, looks like we're moving.
Good job, team.
That's helpful.
All right. All right, next is this is policies and procedures or rules.
Yes. Should I lead us through that? This is really easy.
Let's go.
One page.
One page.
has changes, page
Okay.
3. And we gave it to you months ago, and then I forgot
Oh,
about it
yeah,
because I gave it to you
yes.
too early, and then so it's back.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna change.
The
annual
change is the word strategic to annual.
Yes.
Do we need to vote on that?
Yes.
Yes.
I move adoption.
I move, oh, there you go.
Oh,
Seconded.
There we go. We're good.
Yeah, Susan moved it.
I did, yeah, it's fine. Whoever
Okay.
got it.
Everybody unanimous? Can we just say, is anyone opposed?
No.
Okay, thank you. That was pretty easy. Can you live with it?
Can
Yes.
live with it very happily.
Okay, so we'll change that and get that posted publicly as well. Easy.
Okay, work plan check-in?
It's coming. Oh my goodness, we're almost at the end of
I
it.
know.
Brief meeting.
This remains one of my favorite documents ever. Truly, seriously.
Yay.
'Cause it keeps us focused
You really
and-
does, it works.
Introduces
Yeah, we need to-
adoptions.
And we use it.
We actually use it,
Yeah.
yes, sorry, yeah.
That's the key, is you have to
It's
look at
not,
it.
yes, we actually look at it at every meeting, which makes it all even better.
We're working
think
on
we're
that
sorted.
in the office with our work plan, but we just know what we're doing all the time.
We need to select the date for the annual planning meeting in March. It seemed like March 22nd was the best date.
Okay,
Although not everyone is actually available for the whole of the day.
got it.
We'll miss out on Heather and Dawn for parts of the day.
Part of it, okay.
What parts?
Go
Cause
back.
we didn't do a full day last time, did we?
We did not.
Okay.
So,
Talk about time, yeah.
it looks like Dawn is available starting at 11:30.
Okay. Which day are we
Um,
talking about? Sorry.
Saturday, March 22nd. And then Dawn is there's a break starting at 1:30 and then available again at 3 until 4:30.
So, sorry,
So like 11:30 to 4:30. I don't know how much time we need for this.
what did we do last time? Did we do like 9:30 to like 2 or 2?
Yeah, I think
Something
we
like
started
that.
about 4, I thought we were here about at least 4 to 5, at least 5 hours.
I can reach out to
maybe.
Dawn too and just see what's going on that day, since
'Cause we
she's
did
not
a-
here with us.
We did an early session, we ate. We had food,
Mhm.
and then we did a session after that. and
Yeah,
it was
I
a
have
couple
held on
hours.
my calendar 9:30 to 4 last year. I don't know if we
We did not need the whole
did
time.
not, I just had that held, yeah.
And we started later too.
Yeah, we did.
No, we
Because-
did.
Like, we
Actually,
had to
let's look at the
regroup.
minutes and see.
I was
when-
gonna say the
where did we
yeah,
run it
yeah.
from? That'll tell us. There it is.
Yeah, cause I think I went to breakfast.
So sorry, say again. Heather could start at 11:30, is that right, Heather?
Guys.
Yeah. I think I did.
If we do it on the 22nd and I make it, I don't have any time constrictions.
Oh,
It's just
okay,
the 22nd is, I would possibly be traveling that day.
Okay.
I'll just try not to be.
okay, but, okay,
Thank
so
you.
if you're in town, you're in town. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
and then Wolfgang, sorry, what did you say about Dawn?
Dawn is available from 11:30 to 1:30 and then 3 to 4:30. So the gap where she's not available,
We'll just do everything from 11:30 to,
but it does look like she's not available any other Saturday.
yeah, just do
So I might
everything.
need to reach out to her and just see.
Doing everything in that window. What you need.
Saturdays are a busy day.
Do we consider Sundays or are Sundays impossible?
I'm staying on that one.
Okay.
Let's say we stick on Saturday.
It is an easier day. I can send out a poll and see if Sundays would work for people. If it doesn't, we're at the same place. As Ernest, you wouldn't be with us anymore. right?
No, I wouldn't.
Did we do one in the evening one time? I liked Saturday better, I'm gonna say that, cause I felt more
Well, I think
energy.
we did
Yeah,
one
it's
in the
hard to get-
evening some
Just like
time ago.
have everyone together.
Yeah,
Not, was it 2 years ago?
I feel like it was my
Like
first one,
Harvard?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
That was a
Yeah.
long day.
that was a long day, yeah, yeah.
It was called, yeah.
Did you see anything, Todd, on our time?
It looked like it was 10 to 1. For some reason, I wrote things down weird, and on the minutes, we didn't actually record the time properly, but I think we missed that, because I think we had already set, but, yeah, it looks like 10 to 1.
No, it felt like it was more than that, but
We
okay.
went longer than 1 o'clock.
We were
Sure.
longer than one,
We
I don't
did.
know,
I thought we did,
yeah.
because
Okay.
cause what time did we eat? Cause I know we ate at least 40.
Maybe we called it back
30.
to order, oh, that's what we did. We called it back to order at 1 after eating, we stopped at 11:15, called it back to order at 12:54. What we didn't write is when we finally adjourned on this thing.
Right.
So,
Cause I know we at least went a couple hours after that.
yeah,
So it's probably about 5 hours.
Yeah, I was there about 5.
Okay.
10 to 3. With lunch in there?
I'm out of it.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
I'm also fine with 9, starting at 9. And doing, I don't know. People have strong opinions?
I have no opinions.
We
usually-
We started at 10.
What's that?
I said it sounded like we might catch more of Dawn's window if we
Mhm.
started at 10 versus 9.
Or 11.
Is that accurate?
We get over for about an hour and a half.
It's not a,
It's not a ton of time.
yeah, I mean, it's the same, we get the same amount of dawn.
Gotcha.
If either way.
Oh, here's the agenda.
Yeah, we said-
Oh, but that
I'm
was
fine to
9:34.
start
It
Yeah.
didn't reflect,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
Traffic
traffic.
must really be bad.
Yeah, totally traffic.
Yes.
That's what it was.
It's the back of a bikes on 250.
Well, maybe Catherine can come and settle it.
She's actually not gonna.
Cause we
be
only
here
have
today.
about an hour and a half of Dawn's time,
sure.
right? 11:30 to
Catherine's
1.
not gonna be able to
She's
shoot
out-
either.
Yeah, she's out. Her term's
She
up.
won't be here.
We lose
Not
Ernest
here.
and
Oh, she
Catherine by the
Yeah,
time
For
that.
that
yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
for that.
Let's split the difference between 9 and 10 and say 9:30. Yeah,
Flip a coin, so
I
we'll
think
flip a
that's
coin.
exactly what we did last year.
it's probably what we did last year.
Flip a
We
coin.
We did get started late because of everything going wrong.
we split the
Yeah.
difference between 9 and 10 and we say 9:30.
Yeah, last year was parking. We had
That's the issue.
it was so, what was going on at that?
Big,
The parking garage was malfunctioning.
it was malfunctioning.
Oh, that's right. Todd was outside and it was raining and there's this
Yes.
man in his poncho.
Yes.
Directing
I
all
forgot
the traffic in the
that.
city,
Yes.
so.
And we were worried about the lady coming from Richmond.
Oh,
She had
yeah.
time.
Yeah, she blew out her wheels.
Yeah, it
Jeez.
was-
And she was like, I can be there
We're talking about when to have the.
tomorrow, and we're like, we're here now.
Yeah,
It was like,
crazy.
it was hectic.
Right.
So
Alright,
I think-
9:30, March 22nd.
So if we do 9:30, the one thing that I would say, like from a, sorry, just in terms of only having Dawn here from 11:30 to 1.
Yeah.
Is that we probably should not eat lunch during that time, or if we do eat lunch, we need to do a working lunch
That's correct.
to not lose.
I think we do
her.
the icebreakers and we do the, you know, the team building stuff. It's just the way I'm
Yeah, yeah.
conceptualizing based on previous ones.
Mhm.
We do maybe some of the non-mandatory kind of training things that we often do that that y'all lead. And then when we start digging into the strategic goals,
We do that
that's,
from
we
11:30
do,
to
we do
1.
that to prioritize her time. And I can reach out to her just to see like what is her vibe for that Saturday. And try to incorporate her as
Right,
much as possible.
Cause it's good to,
Yeah.
That's
they
good.
confirm that she can be here
Yeah.
during that time.
If there's something going on that indicates she's maybe not gonna be, like, she might be less available, I might send out another poll to look at some dates in April. I don't know how far we can push this back. It is an annual meeting. We can kind of do it whenever we want to.
Yeah, I
Within
know with-
reason,
with
give or
the
take a
rules
couple
and
weeks.
procedures, they-
Also,
It would be great to have everybody together,
Mhm.
but I think there's a way we can kind of flex it so that, as you said, we're not
Yeah.
doing the insubstantive things while she's here. Over to you, Ernest.
also remember you may have new commissioners coming on.
Mm-hmm.
We will.
Hopefully,
So hopefully those dates work for them as well.
that's a great point.
Mhm.
Alright.
So, but it's good to have date
Mhm.
and kind of lock it in. And then hopefully those individuals can work around that.
Yeah,
Does say we hold it in the month of March each year,
okay.
Alright,
you know.
this is
I
tradition.
think we should probably stay with March to the best of our abilities.
Does bring everybody on
Yeah,
board.
'cause there's a lot going on between January and February with getting new commissioners, getting them in, getting them trained.
Well, and I'm also thinking even if we try to move it to April, we're gonna run into the same problem where, right, like where they're gonna
There's gonna be
be,
someone.
somebody's gonna not, yeah, unfortunately.
Yep. especially with that first weekend of April, that's kids are out of school, so people are traveling. And then you got Easter coming up in there, I think that's in April, so
Yes, yeah.
this is a lot going on, so. So keep it in March if you can.
So hold March 22nd right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plan is, yep, then we done everything except the officer side, and I'll take care of that. As far as work plan wise. So,
Yeah.
all right. Does anybody have any burning desire to meet on January the 2nd?
Passed it out before.
Gotta ring in the new year, you know?
I'm gonna celebrate with all of you on Sunday at Ix Park Park.
Beautiful.
I will likely not be in town, so
So I didn't.
I would do it if you
Yeah, I
actually
am,
twisted
yeah.
my arm,
What's
but
going on that day?
It, so no one has a
We have
burning
work to do.
desire to meet on January the 2nd?
No.
Okay. I felt like I needed to ask to make sure,
do you have a burning desire to meet?
Yeah.
not by myself.
Come on, no, come on.
Are you done on 12/31? No, what's
I
the,
think it's.
Into February.
End of February.
oh,
Okay, we get you for 2 more sessions then. Good. good, good,
oh.
good. I thought next session was the last
I was
one.
like ready to like, I've got like words to share. I'll hold
Motions to
those.
bury.
Oh, my goodness.
No sharing.
No words tonight.
Oh, no.
Okay, good to know.
Just a little bit, we'll be fading. Slowly fading.
Got it.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
I think that's what's next on the agenda. All right, so we went over the work plan, we confirmed that we're not meeting on January the 2nd. Do we have any new business? Jason, you got nothing.
I don't have anything, I don't have anything.
Ernest
It was
mutters
just a taunt,
under
it was
his,
just a taunt.
Ernest mutters under his breath.
I can come up with
Let the,
something.
let the record show. Ernest threatens Jason.
No new business? All right. Members of the public. If you're in person or virtual, there's no one here in person, but if you're a virtual attendee, again, you may, if you're on phone, raise your, if you're online webinar, raise your hand. If you're on the phone, attendees use *9. Nope. All right, cool. Commissioner updates, you guys have anything?
So I didn't have any new business, but I did want to just share kind of
Yes.
one outlook that we're looking at the state legislature. The governor introduced his budget amendments to the 24 through 26 biennial budget. And I think one of the highlight areas of concern is some of the adverse actions that the administration is looking to take towards cities that cooperate, cities that do not cooperate with federal agencies charged with enforcing immigration laws. So that's gonna be a battle that's gonna be continued to be fought. I think it will not get through the state legislature, but I still think there's gonna be a lot of federal pressure on localities, just as kind of what we saw during the first Trump administration. So that might be something that we might wanna be proactive in engaging with city council with to get an idea of, you know, what their plans are. Because we know that at least ACRJ, currently our regional jail, does cooperate with federal law enforcement charged with immigration. So I think it's just something that we should engage with the city leadership on.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly.
So that was the only thing I had to say. There's no new business from me. That's it.
I'm glad you said it. So we needed to hear that.
Yeah, that's the same new business that I would have had to. I think we have to, I think the moment requires a shift in maybe the focus that we've had to looking at this and just the, you know, repercussions that our community members might face. You know, so thanks for bringing that up. I really appreciate it.
Any other new business?
I just wanted to bring something up. One, I'm reaching back out to Tim Wallace and Emily Dreyfus now because I sent that email the morning after the election. I scheduled it, so they didn't respond weirdly. So I'm just gonna bump that. So it'll go to everyone.
jobs.
Oh, he did. I didn't know that.
He's at Legal Services Corporation of Virginia.
Oh, interesting.
Emily's still there.
Yeah, so I'll just send it to Emily then, thank you. So I'll bump that in just a second. But I also wanted to talk about the last city council meeting. I don't know if anyone was able to watch. Actually, I saw a post from a local community member who said when Sam Sanders started talking about how they're gonna be addressing, you know, plans for addressing or helping and housing unhoused folks in our community. So I just watched that today. And it sounded like, you know, there's a lot of funding, they're allocating the leftover ARPA funding toward that, so that's great. It sounded like there was a little pushback from the community. It sounded, you know, there was like a Seville Tomorrow article that said not here, right, or something like that. But, you know, one of the speakers kind of voiced this nuance of they would rather have the family shelter next to the playground across from, you know, which is effectively very close to Tonsor Park. They would like to have the family shelter there and then have the Ridge Street be the like low barrier shelter. So it's just something to kind of, you know, that's kind of what community members are saying. And so, you know,
a community member said in a
yes,
meeting.
yes, exactly. But just kind of here, you know, keeping an eye on that and just having that be on our radar is the best way to advocate for the greatest number of shelter beds and the, you know, best possible response to creating a place for folks. So.
And I thought Sam Sanders' comments were helpful because he made the point that there is no place that the low barrier shelter can be put that will not have pushback.
Yeah,
from
That's right.
community members.
Yep,
absolutely.
yep, that's exactly right.
So that's something, you know, that we, yeah, just to be on our radar and watch how this kind of unfolds and, yeah.
Did the city council passed the 3 million for the Salvation Army? Wasn't that on the docket on?
Yeah, so they approve, it's going to, I think they have to have 2 readings, so it's
Okay.
going to the consent agenda for
Okay. Oh,
the,
okay.
whatever their January meeting
Okay.
is.
The other thing I'll say about those comments is I think it's important not to necessarily accept the premise of the comment because the biggest danger is to the people who are unhoused, right? I mean, I know you
Yes,
know that,
yes,
right?
and
I
Matthew
think we need
Gilligan
to say
spoke
it
very powerfully about
over
that.
and over again, that is the biggest danger. And those folks are here in the community. So saying we have this shelter at the park does not mean that they are not at the park anyway. So it is not necessarily a danger in the way that it is presented.
Absolutely,
I
and
think
yeah.
it's important to keep.
Yeah, and just being aware of the pushback that could be coming is important for, you know, for how we talk about it and how we talk to council about it and things like that. Just being aware that, you know, what they're hearing, but it's not clear, who they're hearing from. So they should probably hear from more people that, you know, just want more shelter. And I can just say personally, I'm off work for 2 weeks, but in my day job, it has been a brutal month for community members. We have no family shelter, period. Hi, you got evicted with your newborn and your 3-year-old. I have nowhere to send you. So it has been just the need in the community, just kind of, there was one in July, because that's when leases are up and people start kind of moving in the community, but this December, with exacerbated by the weather. It's just, it's been rough. I talked to a lady who is planning to take her kids to social services because she couldn't care for them. So yeah, it's just really rough out there. So thank you, Catherine, also for that, powerful statement. It's like being unhoused is the dangerous situation. So, yeah, so I appreciate the work we do here. Sorry not to be a bummer,
No,
but
Yeah,
it's
nothing but
the
bummer in
reality,
front of
I
us,
know.
honestly, so.
yeah. But it's, this work we're doing is really important, and I wish we could get a family shelter online like today, like right now.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you. Understood. Anything else? Anyone? All right. 7:38, we adjourn.
All right.
Um,